House of Dragon dealing with trauma through real adaptation. Welcome to Artificial Radio, where we delve into the intersection of storytelling and human experience. Today, we are going to explore the traumatic events that unfolded in the House Targaryen's history through the lens of George R. Martin's House of the Dragon, and how the show adapts and reinterprets these themes for modern audiences. Trauma is a complex and deeply personal experience that can leave lasting scars. It's a theme that's all too familiar in the world of Westeros, where the gruesome deaths of loved ones, the loss of power, and the struggle for survival have become a recurring pattern. But it's not just the external events that drive our characters to trauma, it's also the internalized pain, the guilt, and the shame that can follow a person long after the initial incident. In House of the Dragon, we witness the birth of this trauma firsthand. Their complicated relationship, born from a deep sense of loyalty and betrayal, becomes a microcosm for the destructive patterns of behavior that can arise from trauma. We see how Rhaenyra's sensitivity and emotional vulnerability make her a target for Alicent's manipulation, and how Alicent's own trauma and fear drive her to behave in ways that ultimately harm those closest to her. This adaptation of Rhaenyra and Alicent's story is significant because it forces us to confront the ways in which we often minimize or dismiss the emotional complexity of others. We see Alicent as the villain, but we also see the humanity beneath her actions. We see the fear and the desperation that drive her to make choices that ultimately lead to chaos and destruction. By humanizing Alicent, we begin to understand that trauma is not simply a product of circumstance, but also a product of human choice. This is where the show's use of television as a medium becomes particularly interesting, because, unlike novels or films, television allows for a fluid and multi-dimensional exploration of character. We can see the nuances of emotion, the interplay between characters, and the slow-building complexity of relationships. By doing so, we are able to immerse ourselves in the world of Westeros and experience the trauma that unfolds through Rhaenyra and Alicent's story. One of the most striking aspects of House of the Dragon is its willingness to subvert the traditional binary of victim and perpetrator. We see that Rhaenyra is both a victim of circumstance and a willing participant in her own story. We see that Alicent is both a perpetrator of harm and a victim of her own making. By exploring this gray area, we are forced to confront our own biases and assumptions about the nature of trauma and accountability. Ultimately, House of the Dragon offers us a powerful reminder that trauma is not something that can be cured or resolved in a single episode or season. It's a long-term process, one that requires patience, understanding, and a willingness to confront the complexities of human experience. Through this adaptation of the Targaryen drama, we are given a glimpse into the intricate web of trauma that underlies some of our most destructive patterns of behavior. In the words of George R. Martin himself, the monsters we fear are the monsters we create. By examining the creatures we fear, we are forced to confront the monsters we create in our own lives, the ones that stalk us in the shadows, the ones that we hide from the world, and the ones that define our own traumas and our own pain.